So today we are doing a St. Patty's Day eye tutorial. I already put on most of my face. I put on my foundation, I put on my concealer, I put on my powder, and I also put on some bronzer. But some of that is going to come off because it's going to have some fallout on the bottom. I'm sure of it. We're going to be using the Colourpop Just My Luck palette. It has the perfect combination of greens, in my opinion. That's why I chose it. I felt like a lot of times when you look for green shadows, they're not green enough. They don't give enough pigment. And Colourpop, even though it's a reasonable price point, it's budget friendly, it does have a lot of pigment. I'm going to go right over my makeup. I'm not going to start from scratch like I normally do. I'm going to take the Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC. And we're going to scratch a little bit on the back of our thumbnail. And you're going to directly apply it to the eye. Use your second finger to take off any excess. You're going to need makeup wipes next to you. I always keep makeup wipes next to me. I use the Neutrogena ones just to take makeup off my hands or to clean up little spots, little mishaps that happen. So now we're going to do the other side. But first I'm going to use a little powder from my compact. I'm using my Chanel compact from the last video. And I'm just taking a little blending brush, swirling a little bit of the powder, and going in right on top of the soft ochre. This evens out the texture before you put your shadows, because if you put your shadows while there's oils on the lid or any texture issues, it'll spot up. It'll not be even. It won't blend evenly. So you want to make sure that it's uniform in texture. So we're going to do the other side. Take a little bit of the soft ochre. Okay, and same thing. You're going to take your powder. You can use whatever powder you normally use. Make sure that it has a little bit of coverage. If you're using drugstore makeup, I would suggest the Superstay in the 24-hour Maybelline foundation. That's a really good powder foundation for a drugstore brand. If you want the Chanel one, it is $70. So once that's uniform, we're going to go in with our Just My Luck palette. And I'm actually going to perform a technique that I use on almost every bold or vibrant color. So if I'm going to do a bold, vibrant color like this greens over here, you want a cup to hold that color. You want a cup on the eye. I'm going to call it a half moon bowl technique. It's a half moon bowl because it's going to be holding the color on your eyelid. I am actually going to use another palette for this look. You might be able to find the color that I use in another palette of yours, but I just find that using a opposite color to the color that you're using on the lid makes it pop. So I'm going to use the Connect in Color palette by MAC. It's this one right here. This is the palette I'm using, the Connect in Color palette by MAC. I'm going to use the reddest red in the palette. That is the one that's second from the bottom. This color right here, it's like a really red color. That's the color that we're going to use in the crease. That's going to create the bowl that I'm talking about. You want this bowl effect before you put on the lid color. So you have to kind of plan. When you're going to do a bright color, you don't want to think, oh, I'm just going to put a darker green up there, because that doesn't fade in right. So I'm going to take that color on the brush. You can see it's very red. And we're going to go in the crease, just like this. Going a little above my crease, because that's what's going to pop out. From right here out. Okay, just like that. And then I'm taking this matte color right here, this matte color. It's a red color again. It's the same color family as that one. And I'm using that in the bowl, okay? So I'm going right into the lash line with that matte color to create the bowl. It is inside that bowl where you're going to put the green. All right. See, the opposite of green is red. So we're using this red color to really make it pop and really accentuate. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so that's that. The bowl is done. That's a half moon. I did a half moon, okay, on the eyelid, above the eyelid. So we're going to pronounce this a little bit more. Make it even with the other side. Okay, as even as you can get it. We're going to take a concealer brush. I'm using the concealer brush for the green because the concealer brush acts almost like your fingers. So if you were to take your fingers and just put the eyeshadow on, the concealer brush kind of does that because it's almost like, because the texture of the bristles are almost like wet. They kind of have like almost like an emollient feel to them. So because of that, you're going to take this green right here, this green on the lower corner, okay, on the brush, okay, take off the excess. That's a lot. You can see the pigment is amazing. Just so you know, this palette, Colourpop, was $14. And you can already see I'm getting a lot of fallout. So here, we're going to take that up and we're going to redo the foundation later. And don't worry if it's not blended correctly yet. We're going to go in with some darker colors in the crease. So now I'm going to take that same brush I used for the red before, and I'm going to go into the crease with the dark brown in the palette. There's a dark brown in this MAC palette. You can use a really super dark brown if you have it at home, but this is what it looks like. It's this dark brown right here. And we're now going to go into the crease just below where the red comes out. And I'm just blending it to create that pot. Okay, it's like a smoky red pot that's containing the bold color. Once again, you always want to have a container of some sort. The container should be complementary in the color wheel. So you can see that blended way better once we put the dark chocolate. Now, we're going to take the dark green and we're going to blend that along the lash line a little bit right here. Right there. Dark green, blend it out. All right. Now, same thing, I'm going to catch the fallout. Now, as you can see, I want this area to stay clean, okay? Because if we add green there or a light green, it's going to be like too much. If you want to keep the St. Patty's Day look more demure, a little bit more demure, I would keep that like a skin tone color. So you can take your brush, you can take an eyeshadow brush, an eyeshadow brush. I'm using number 239 in the set that I have. And I'm going to use this brown camel color right here. That's going to create a little shadow under my brow. So I'm going to place that. I'm going to actually place that. I'll show you where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right under my brow, right here. Right here, okay? And it's going to go just under the brow into this red color for the transition. So it's creating a shadow. You see how that created a shadow right there? And notice I'm keeping this area right here light, so it's like a highlight color. You want to keep that light because it gives like a youthful appearance. Now I'm going to take this lighter color right here, this one right here, and I'm going to go into the highlight areas to kind of subdue them a little bit. Okay, so that's that. You see what that did? Okay. Okay. Same thing, we're going to do it under the brow right here, to bring down the starkness of the white of the brow. I don't want too much of a white shine there. Perfect. That blends it out a lot nicer. You see how that creates like a nice fade? And it doesn't create like a stark contrast of the brow bone. You don't want that stark contrast of the brow bone because it can tend to age people. It can jut out too much. So you want it to be a little bit receded. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation again under my eye. And then I'm going to go in with the concealer. For my concealer, I'm using Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage number 5. Secret Camouflage number 5. So we're going to do a liner. I'm going to use the Revlon Color Stay eyeliner in black brown. So if you want, you can take a white frost. I have this white frost in this palette. I'm going to use that for the inner corners of the eye. I'm going to use my fingers. Take my pointer finger and I'm going to go right in there to just give a highlight. Same thing on the other side. It just gives a nice highlight right there. Okay. And that's it. Oh, that one became green. All right, yeah. That's it. That's the way. Okay. For gloss, looks like this. I'm using the Super Lustrous Glimmer Gloss by Revlon. I'm not going to use a liner. I'm just going to, got some green. Girl, you got green. Watch out for that because the fallout is real. I like this gloss a lot. It's really pretty. And you can do a liner with it, but I'm not going to. Really nice. I'm going to use Humor Me by MAC, and I'm going to go right there. That's it. So this is our look for St. Patty's Day. More demure than sometimes what we see out there. It can be very intense, too much green. This actually makes the green pop, so that way you have a look that is wearable for the entire day into night. I hope you guys have an awesome St. Patty's Day, and this look is actually wearable for any other day as well. So if you want to just wear green, you're just in the mood for green, this will work really well for brown eyes, hazel eyes, blue eyes can even wear this. I know that hazel eyes will tend to pop more with green shadows, just so you know. So that's our look for today. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I will see you soon.